Hi, my name's Yasmin and I'm the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, the goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
Saltstone's industrial centre was a collection of commercial properties that had been the lifeblood of the town, now decayed and long since abandoned to the ravages of time and tide. Upon procuring a somewhat sturdy and serviceable coal cart, the three companions began looting the leather workers. A little coin, needles and a tool or two, and then it was on to the potters. A pilfering of some storage pots, some silver, and Esther's gift to Elora of a caricature mug bearing the likeness of the Lunarch Bacchaeus. Otto turned into a troll, enabling him to fetch and carry more easily at the textile workshop, where a number of notably useful fabrics were found. But it was the blacksmiths that bore the big haul for our heroes. Fixtures, fittings, armoury accoutrements, and the tools for trades were found. As they piled their pickings onto the cart, the companions continued to turn up trumps. Episode 155. I cast fish.
The Wandering Tavern is 15 layers of corruption, gambling, exotic restaurants, hotels, expansive workstations and buzzing accommodations. Amongst these are 23 unique locations that range from lavish establishments down to the city's seedy underbelly. I've got detailed battle maps of the entire floating metropolis. As the sun sets, shadowy forms seep from dark corners to materialise throughout the Wandering Tavern. Luckily, I was able to collect scathing testimonies from over 30 NPC patrons and staff, and even the lingering spirits of the deceased. The Wandering Tavern, available now at hatdebuilder.com. What I would like you to do, however, is both of you, I want you to make me a search check, please.
That's a flat 16 for Elora.
Okay.
Otto has a 4. It's actually a +3 on the search, so 7 in total.
7. Okay, so Otto, you're probably busy carrying these big anvils outside one by one. You're lumbering about, you're moving them about. Elora, as you are doing some more poking around, you and Esther do find a couple of very, very interesting items. You find, let me get the right die, 6 silver bars.
Oh yeah, she's having those.
You find 6 gold pieces.
Okay.
A very thin, delicate chain made of gold, which has been stowed in a bench on a drawer, hanging from which is a small anvil-shaped charm. Clearly, you would imagine a gift to a blacksmith, something quite personal. It's quite thin, quite delicate, but it is made of gold. And you also find, as you poke around under one of the benches, where you can see there's a vast array of kind of cloths and boxes and this, that and the other, bits and bobs, you find a thin, foldable case. It is
about the size of an A3 sheet of paper, and it is like a book. It's that kind of shape where it's probably a couple of inches deep, and it's got a latch on the side, and as you open it up and open it out like a book, you can see inside, nestled amidst some straw, 3 beautifully made chef's knives.
Ooh.
These are razor sharp, even having been obviously stored away for many years. These are razor sharp. There is a paring knife, a meat cleaver, and a standard large kitchen knife.
Oh, Esther, look at this. Look at these. These are beautiful.
Yes, dearie, they are quite nice, aren't they? Beautiful
They
work.
are.
And they are beautiful. You can see these are obviously like a masterpiece. The handles are made of a burnished, polished, like mahogany coloured wood. The fixings are silver. They are made of silver, and they are stamped and hallmarked with silver, or the Innistrad equivalent of a hallmark, which formulates as the symbol of Avacyn, which has been hammered into the collar where the handle meets the shaft of the blade. And the blades themselves are a beautiful Damascus steel. They have got that beautiful effect to them where you can see the folds in the metal. They have been beaten free of impurities, and the edges are razor sharp.
So they're stamped with the symbol of Avacyn.
It's not so much a symbol of Avacyn as in this is like a holy knife. It is the symbol of Avacyn is a hallmark.
Basically, it's a nice pure silver.
Yes, you could imagine it was a
Razor
very
sharp.
pure silver. And very much, you would... I'd say probably both of you can make me a religion check, please. Or intelligence-based check,
Yep.
knowledge check.
No. It's a flat 4 with nothing to add for Allura.
And what do we
Otto?
have? A 2 on the dice, plus 4 for a grand total of 6. Grand indeed.
Okay.
We didn't do well.
I want you both to re-roll those because those are really shit.
Oh.
And I'm taking pity on you at this point.
Okay, I've got 1 less than before. I'm now a 3 all in.
10. I have a 10 plus 4 for 14.
14. Okay, there we go. Finally, a decent fucking roll. Okay, so with the 14, Otto, shall I just clip out the first rolls?
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the 14, Laura, you are probably busy thinking about other things. I don't know what things go on in Laura's head. I'm not sure I want to know, to be honest. But Otto, with a 14, you would recognise this hallmark. You've seen silver which has been marked with this hallmark before. Possibly because when you were a young man living back in Gavany, you bought your wife, the love of your life, a beautiful silver locket made of the purest silver that you could afford. It took you many years of hard graft to save up that money, but you bought her this silver locket, and this silver locket was made of such a pure silver that it had been marked with this hallmark to indicate its purity.
Yes, I don't see this very often. This is kind of the best sort of silver you can find if you're ever going vampire hunting. I hear that's the thing to do. Or is it werewolves? I forget. Werewolves, I think. I'll have to ask.
They're beautiful, beautiful knives.
Just maybe. I'm not so sure we give these to Paul. I mean, I know you like the guy. I appreciate that, but I'm a little concerned that he might. I don't want to say drop them, but they might end up in the ceiling or the floor or someone important.
Someone important.
Well, I picked up loads of cutlery from his own place, actually. Picked up lots of kitchen equipment from there, so we don't have to worry about it right now. But yeah, they're beautiful. Anyway, she's going to fold the I don't know, it's a bag or a book or
It's,
box,
it's
whatever
a
it
box.
is. It's a box. Right, she's going to fold that back up, relatch it, and pop that into the cart as well.
As you do
Is
that,
there anything else?
As you do that,
Go
a
on.
slip of paper falls out of the back of the box.
She'd bend down and pick it up and read it.
Okay. As you read it, the handwriting is difficult to discern. It is spidery, it is quite scratchy, and obviously faded with age. But you read 3 sterling kitchen knives. Sterling.
Oh, sterling.
Underneath is a description of them. Special order from Gavaney. Vorpal kitchen knives.
What the?
With the side note underneath, only effective on vegetables.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And as you release a tendril of magic and a bit of sense into them, you can tell that there is indeed a magic effect on these knives.
So if we encounter a carrot golem or a pumpkin golem, we're doing okay, right?
Sorted. Yeah.
Halloween special coming
Esther.
up.
Esther, Otto, look at this.
Yes, dearie. Yes.
She's going to read it. 3 kitchen sterling knives, special order for Gavaney.
From Gavaney.
Vorpal from Gavaney. Vorpal kitchen knives. Vegetables only.
What's
Is that
Vorpal kitchen.
Is that a note to say use them on vegetables only, or is that a guidance on how to use them?
I'm assuming they're only intended for vegetables. I don't know. They're magical, so
What's Vorpal?
Vorpal. I'm assuming Alora would Alora understand what Vorpal was?
I'd say you probably wouldn't. However, if you wish to ask Esther, she will most likely know, having been a purveyor of the sword.
You watch a roll of 1 and tell us it's a brand name.
Right, backtrack here a minute. She's going to read the note. 3 sterling kitchen knives, special order from Gavaney. Vorpal kitchen knives, vegetables only. Does anybody know what that means?
Well, I'm guessing they're not me knives. Although that cleaver kind of looks like it should be.
Well, I know what knives do to vegetables, obviously, but Vorpal kitchen knife. What is a Vorpal kitchen knife? I've never heard of that.
No, that's going to be my question.
Esther,
Oh, yes, dearie. I'm just.
you're good in it. You're good in a kitchen.
Yes, but I've never seen anything quite like this before. 1 second, dearie. Let me just take a bit of a think in the odd memory banks. And she begins to think quite hard as I begin to search for the book.
Is the book Alice in Wonderland?
So Esther has a bit of a think. So yes, dearie. Vorpal, that does ring a bell. They're very, very rare weapons from what I know. I didn't have one in my sword closet, but yes, they are. Supposedly when you meet certain criteria when wielding the blade itself, it will allow you to sever the head of whoever you strike in one blow. Just shing, and you know, blop and bleh, and they die.
Well, that's unlucky if you're a carrot or an onion, isn't it, really?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Does make you wonder how much trouble the person was having chopping up carrots, doesn't it?
And I would like you to both make me, as you're looking at this writing, I want you to both make me a...
Don't tell me Generic made it.
No. A sense motive check, please.
Oh.
Oh,
That's a thing? It is.
that's interesting, huh? Yeah, that's a good one for me. Not.
Oh, okay.
That's a 16. 16 minus 1 for Alora for a 15.
Okay.
Otto has +5 and rolled a 19, so 24.
Wowzers. Okay, so Laura, as you look at this, you are, I mean, it does what it says on the tin. Otto, as you look at this, you can very clearly sense or tell from this note that the only effective on vegetables is almost added on as an afterthought. And that's about all I'll say.
As in, be careful you don't give this to Paul in case one of us, loses their head, sort of thing.
No, I mean, like, looking at the note, you can clearly see, or you can tell from the tone of this note and the way it's written, you can tell that the only effective on vegetables is an afterthought.
Yeah, as in it probably isn't
obviously
just
this has
effective
been very
on them. Yes.
Who knows?
Elora, just in case it doesn't only work on vegetables, perhaps we don't give it to the slippery-fingered, ghostly figure that we have wandering around our kitchen, bouncing up and down at random.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're beautiful knives. We've got others that we can give him. She's just going to tuck the note back inside the box, click the box back up again, and she's going to put the box into the cart. Is there anything else? I think we should look at getting this lot back to the ship, perhaps.
I think it's a big enough load, perhaps we need to do that, yes.
I think we've taken as much as we can find that's useful. So she's going to start pushing the cart and backing it out of the forge.
Yeah, okay, so you start making your way back down to the boat. And yeah, you've gone around the entirety of this crafting area. Where's my map gone? The craft quarter, you've gone around the entirety of it, and you can't see anything else of any value as you walk out. So you take your goodies back to the boat, and when you walk up to the pier, you can still hear the sounds of Ogvar working away. The items you've left on the dock have not moved yet, but you can hear sounds of him. You can hear a saw going, you can hear hammering, as he's very clearly obviously working on this winch and getting it back into a working state. Yeah, and I imagine you'd call up to him and let him know that you're there. He kind of pulls back and, hello, yep, still here, kind of working on it. It's going all right, this, that and the other. And yeah, so what are you doing at this point? You've got a couple of other areas left in the town. There's the apothecary, there's the Lord's Mansion, the merchants, and the Seagraph.
What time is it?
So you are wearing through the afternoon now. I'd say it's probably about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You've still got hours of daylight left. But not a lot.
What do you think, Alora?
Well, it would be kind of nice to get this done, I suppose. I mean, there's no massive hurry, but it would be nice to get it done, wouldn't it?
Well,
where have we got left? There's the Lord's Mansion, isn't there? We haven't been to the mansion.
the apothecary, the merchants. I'm reluctant to be the one to suggest it, but if we are staying here overnight, maybe it would be better to deal with the Seagraph before the sun drops. Maybe we should go there while we can. Probably best to do that in daylight instead of after night falls.
Would feel a little bit safer, wouldn't it? I mean, you did say that you could only see around about 5 or something,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave this stuff here, piled up. She's going to shout up to Ogvar. Ogvar! We're gonna go and have a look in the Seagraph. We're gonna go and sort out this undead problem. You alright up there?
Okay, yes, okay, that's fine. He shouts back down. I'm still trying to get it working, yes.
Okay, well, we'll leave everything down here. It's going to be me, Otto and Esther. We're going to go and sort this out. We'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Anyway, she turns away, and everybody ready?
I'm just thinking that if we are going to a potentially dangerous area, it might be perhaps worthwhile a couple of preparatory spells in case we run into things and need to deal with it quickly. Do you have anything you need to do?
Yeah. I think Alora would. She would. Oh, my screen's gone dead. Where's my screen gone? Oh, having problems here. Hang on a minute. Urgh. This is why I like pencil and paper. Oh. Hang on. It's doing things. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing things. Right. Okay. You go first. I'm going to have a look at my sheet.
No, that's okay. Yeah, Otto's got a couple of different spells. He's going to use a slightly more unusual one today. He did load out with wood shapes for second level, so he's missing out the bark skin. But he's going to cast Greater Magic Fang on himself, using the mode that basically turns all his attacks into +1 weapons. And he's going to cast Snowshoes, which will add +10 to his movement. Very much like Longstrider. And the other one is Geralon's Blessing, slightly more unusual spell, this one. And when he casts this, he is going to feel pretty uncomfortable for a moment as a pair of new lit arms branches out from underneath his main pair and leaves him with 4 very heavily clawed arms that he seems to be able to manipulate just as easily as he just had a pair of them. And
nice.
Yeah, so girded for battle, he feels a bit safer.
Sweet. Okay. So,
Alora.
Yeah.
Alora will cast Mage Armor Greater on her, so she'll sort of mutter to end of Persona Maxi and wave her hand on herself. She's also going to open the flap of the pouch and say, Rowan, it's time to come out, dude. We've got something to do. And he's going to fly out from the pouch, and she'll hold her hand out, and he'll alight hanging from her finger, facing her with his wings outstretched. And she's going to tickle him on the tummy and say to him, right, Rowan, I'm going to give you a little bit of protection, I think. And she's going to cast Fortify Familiar on him.
okay.
Which, this will be the first time she's cast this. It will make him more robust. It gives him 2d8 temporary hit points and a +2 enhancements bonus to his natural armour, also giving him a 25% chance to avoid extra damage from sneak attacks or critical hits. So she's going to roll for his 2d8 temporary hit points, because whilst he's away from her, he doesn't share her protection spells. He has to have his own. So that would be 9 extra points of temporary health for him.
Okay.
And I think she would also cast Scorching Ray and give him a Scorching Ray to hold,
Okay.
should she feel the need to use it.
Nice. Cool. Excellent. So you all prepared now? Are you happy with your preparations that you've
Yeah.
made?
Yep.
Okay. So you start making your way towards the seagraff. This large piece of fairly tumpy, barren ground, interspersed with the occasional broken headstone, which you saw from the air, Otto. And as you make your way through the town, you do have to walk through kind of the middle of the town, through these broken and abandoned buildings which have suffered from some of them have partially collapsed, some of them have basically flattened, others are burnt and scorched, obviously having suffered from fire damage of some kind. And you make your way round through the town. You pass by, on your left, this big merchant's shop. This big building, 2-storey building, which is still intact. You make your way through, cutting between the buildings as you take the most direct route towards this seagraph, this graveyard. And as you make your way across, I will just briefly share my screen so you can see. I won't ask you to open up Foundry simply because it will take a little while to sort all that out. And sorted, there we go. So I will control the map from my screen. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so as you enter the graveyard, it is this big barren land, and you can see, as you look out, you can see the coast curving away, you can see the waters, a kind of a steely grey. They look quite cold and quite harsh today, although not very visibly disturbed. And as you enter the graveyard, you leave the last house behind you in a state of disrepair. As in front of you, you can see approximately about 35-40 foot away what looks to be a large kind of tomb almost. It's this big structure which obviously stands proud, and it's, I'd say, probably about 10 foot high at max, and it's clearly like got a large entranceway, and you can imagine this is going down towards a catacomb, or even perhaps just a singular burial space for one particular family. It looks to be quite opulent, and it would tie in with the Lord's Mansion being this big opulent place, and really the only super opulent building here. You would say that this is probably, quite logically, the tomb which the Lord of Saltstone would use, the familial tomb. You can see broken headstones, and none of them stand straight. They're all at odd angles. They're all weathered, battered, beaten, collapsed, buried by this thick tufty grass. And you can see 5 shambling figures moving around.
Otto,
Yeah.
over there, can you see
Yeah,
them?
I see him.
You got them? Esther?
Well,
How do you want to go about this? Do you want to just go at it, or what?
well, we've got you for the artillery, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So Otto, as a troll, you are a large creature, yes?
That's correct, yeah.
Which means that you cover how many squares, just so that we've got this accurate on the map?
There'll be 4 squares.
4 squares, so hex-wise, that's going to be 2
I,
on each side.
I would do that as 3 and a hex. Oh, sorry, yeah, I would do 3.
3. Okay, let's just whack that in. There we go. Super. Okay, yeah.
I would argue it's probably a bit big. You probably want a triangular space of 3 hexes.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me just adjust that. Sorry for interrupting that.
There you go.
There we go. You shrunk
Yeah,
again.
that's it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you both enter. So you both enter the graveyard. Yeah. What are you doing?
Do you want to lead with things that go bang while me and Esther stay here and guard you while you continue to make things go bang?
Well, I've got an idea. I've got something fishy up my sleeve. But you need to stand back, because if it goes off, it's quite a large effect, but it's quiet. It's not noisy.
Okay.
Do you want me to have a go? Okay, I'll have a go at it. Laura is going to stand back, and she's going to hold up both arms, and she's going to swirl her arms in the air. How far away are these from her?
So the closest one to you is to your right, and that is about 25 foot away, I'd say. 20 to 25.
How close are they to each other?
To give you an idea, about 25 feet to your northeast, there's one foe. Looks like about 20 feet to the north of that is a second. About 35, 40 feet to the northwest of that one, there's a third. And then there's two off to the west. Looks like about 60 feet west of my position, there's the first one, and about 30 feet north of that, there's a last one there.
Yeah, I want to try and see how close they are to each other.
What's your radius?
Because I've got an AoE spell. 40 foot wide, 20 foot high. And there is a...
Okay. My guess is that you're going to catch three of them, the three on the right hand side probably. I don't think you'll be able to catch any more than that.
Hello?
we have Yaz.
Back now.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, I'm going to leave my camera off for the time being because I think it's just struggling with trying to broadcast the live and also my face. So I'm just fuck off. So I'm just gonna leave the live going now. So hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'll start again. So as you've entered the graveyard, you've entered into the kind of the middle area of this sea graph. You have ahead of you 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, about 40 foot, 45 foot ahead of you, you have this big tomb. I'd say it's about 15 foot wide, and the entrance, and it's almost sloping. It disappears into the ground slightly. It's at this kind of 45-degree angle, clearly angled and grown over. And you would definitely say this is very much probably the Lord of Saltstone's kind of familial tomb. To the far left you have two of these shambling creatures. They're quite a way off. They're 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. They're about 60. The closest one to you is about 60 foot away from you, Rick, from Otto. And then there's one kind of further back away from you, behind it, by about 30 foot, 35 foot that way. To your right you have two more of these shambling figures. About 25-30 foot away is the closest, with another one about 20 foot behind that, almost in a straight line heading away from you towards the coast. And then you've got at the very back of this area, back of this map, towards the back of the graveyard, you've still got it in line of sight. It's not behind this tomb, but it is a good 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, about 70 foot back. So they're kind of scattered about really across this graveyard, this sea graph. So the closest ones to each other would be these two on the right hand side, the first one being 25-30 foot away from you, and the one behind that being 20 foot beyond the first one. So if you can see on the map here, I'll just pop a little bit of a circle around him. This one here on the right hand side is the one closest to you.
Okay.
Alora.
Okay, right. She wants to drop an AoE spell called Vortex of Teeth. Now, it's a cylinder. The reach on it is 210 foot, so she's got enough reach on it.
Okay.
The area of effect is a 40-foot radius by 20 foot high, with a 5-foot radius safe zone at the centre. If she drops the AoE spell, how many can she encompass? If she turns her back on the two that are behind her and faces the three ahead of her, how many of those three can she get in that 40-foot radius?
Okay, so in a... Hang on. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so in a 40-foot radius, let's say, so you've got 80-foot diameter. So if you dropped...
Fort is a 40-foot diameter.
Is it radius or diameter?
Oh, sorry, it's radius, 40-foot radius.
Okay, so you've got an 80-foot diameter, and you're looking to drop this spell to catch as many of these creatures as possible, yeah?
Yes.
So let's do some quick counting. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Then you've got a blank 5 in the middle, and then 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah,
Yep.
so if you dropped your spell between the one furthest away towards this coast and the kind of second one in on the right hand side, you would be able to catch all of them. And let me just do a quick all three of them. 5, 10, 15,
Yep.
20.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you dropped it there, you would be able to catch all 3 of these creatures on the right hand side.
So Alora is going to step forward slightly. She's probably going to move 10 foot forward between the 2 that are on her left and 3 that are spread out on her right. And she's going to drop, she's going to raise her hands and swirl both her hands round in the air, push them outwards, and she's going to cast Vortex of Teeth. And she's going to cast it so that she encompasses a 40-foot radius, which is an 80-foot diameter, around the 3 to her right-hand side.
Okay, yeah, so 100% you can cast that spell. You'll be casting it in between the 2 furthest away from you to get that range on it. So what does the spell do?
Yep. Right, okay. It lasts for 11 rounds. It is not a concentration spell, so it stays in effect. There is no spell resistance and there is no saving throw. The descriptor is a huge school of transparent piranhas swims rapidly through the air in the area that I indicate. These magic fish are made of force and tear into the bodies of creatures as though ravenous. Creatures in the area take 3d8 points of damage per round at the beginning of my turn. Because this spell is a force effect, it harms incorporeal creatures.
17, and what do you need to roll there? Is it spell attack?
It's an instant effect. I don't have to roll anything. And there's no saving throw either.
Okay, and what's the damage?
Right. Creatures in the area take 3d8 points of damage per round at the beginning of my turn. So I'm not sure whether it takes effect this turn or next turn.
Okay, so at the beginning of your turn. So this is not currently the beginning of your turn, so it'll be at the start of your next turn.
No.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to say that they very much notice you as a bunch of spectral piranhas basically come into existence in this big... it kind of gives you the image of like a glass bowl, almost, these piranhas swirling around in this kind of ravenous swarm. Okay, so I want everyone to roll initiative for me, please. Coming in hot, Esther with a nat 20, +4.
Wow.
Oh! That would be... that is an 18 plus 8 for whatever that is.
Okay,
26.
Rick, did you roll any
26.
higher?
No, unfortunately not. We have 10 plus 2 for 12.
Okay, so Elora, you're up second with 26. Then we've got Rick up afterwards with a... What was that, sorry? 18, did you say?
Sorry, I rolled 10 plus 2 for 12.
12, okay, nice. And then we've got these creatures coming up last, having rolled a pitiful 6 with a -1 for a total of 5. Okay, so first round of combat, start of the round. Elora, you are up.
Right, 3d8 damage then.
Yes, so first thing Ross, you're going to roll those piranhas.
I am. And that would be 6, 12, 13. That's 15 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you see these piranhas that these spectral piranhas that you've conjured. At the start of your turn, they go into a feeding frenzy and they begin diving upon these 3 shambling creatures, which look like they have very little protection. They're wearing nothing more than rags, basically. And as these piranhas begin to swoop in, you see chunks of flesh being torn off and shredded to bits, and these creatures are looking in incredibly bad shape at this point, as they are being ripped apart, essentially. Okay, what are you doing on your turn? So that's your spell effect taking place?
Yes, I think that's my spell effect taking place. I think she will move She'll move back the 10 feet that she moved forward to
Okay.
cast. She'll move back again. And I think she will hand the mantle over to anybody else who wants to have a go. Yeah, she'll probably just go, okay, watch those little bloilers go.
Okay, and that's the end of your turn.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the end of your turn. Next up is... Oh, sorry, I've done this one without... It should have been Esther first, but that's fine. Esther will not take an action on this turn simply because she's too far away to do anything and she doesn't want to get involved in that spell effect. Okay. So, Rick, you're up next, third in the round.
Otto's simply going to delay until anything comes closer.
Okay, fair enough. That is a very good roll of action. Okay, so the creatures, which you are now pretty sure are zombies, judging by their general kind of undead, fleshy state, and the flesh that you can see being ripped off of them by your spectral piranhas, they are going to start shambling towards you mindlessly. So, the first one on the right will shamble forwards 30 foot. Is there any effect on them moving through this piranha-infested area?
Do not believe so.
Okay.
Nothing on the spell descriptor for that.
Okay, so the first one will move up to you, Elora, escaping almost this kind of thin glassy blue sheen that you can see your spell effect being taken place in, and it will approach you. And what it is going to do is it is going to attempt to hit you with a slam attack. So it's going to roll, and it's probably going to miss with a 4 + 2 for 6.
Most definitely.
Okay, and that is the end of its turn. You can see as this creature approaches you, it's shambling slow. It clearly can't run. Its foot is twisted at an odd angle, facing backwards. It's really kind of... It's most definitely undead. The skin is grey and pale. You can see kind of maggots crawling over certain areas of it under its clothing. And it is wearing just simple, plain, commoner garb. A tunic, trousers, which are ripped, mouldering, and basically disintegrated. Further to that, the others will begin to move. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The second zombie will exit the area of your spell. And it now stands 10 foot away from you. The one at the back will begin to move forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and comes up level with the entrance to this 2. The 2 zombies on the other side will also respond in turn, moving closer, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, bringing them kind of in tandem closer towards you. The front one is now 5, 10, 25 foot away from Esther, so well within her ability to attack on the next turn. And that is the end of their turn. They can take no further action, they can't run, so there is no way of speeding up their movement. And we head back to the top of the round.
Can I jump Otto back in before we move to the next round?
Yes, of course, yes. Sorry, because you delayed, didn't you? Of course, yeah.
No, amazing, thank you. So now that they're closer and within reach, he'll charge off up to 30 feet towards, up to 40 feet towards the closest of those zombies.
Okay, so the closest one. So you've got an option here. You could go right past Elora, or you could go left. Both are within your reach. Which way would you prefer?
Going to go left away from that vortex of teeth because he doesn't want to get chewed on.
Okay, so you're going to charge straight up to that front zombie. Yep, 100%.
And then we are going to be looking at just clawing. He's going to have 2 primary claws on it.
Ooh. Nice, yeah. So your big troll body, this lumbering form, gets a significant speed up as you charge towards this this poor, pitiful-looking zombie. And yeah, roll to hit.
Okay, so that's a bad time for a 1. Oh well.
Clown shoes.
Okay, and you were doing 2 claws, weren't you?
So yeah, my apologies. I can only do that on a full attack, so it's just the 1 claw. So.
Okay, yeah. So you charge up to it, and I mean your weight almost shakes the ground as you go pelting towards it. and you run up to it, and you get one great claw to really smash into it, but perhaps overestimating the length of your now kind of ape-like arms, you just dig your fingers straight into the earth, just perhaps not so used to this form, not expecting the reach that you actually now have. And that is the end of your turn, unfortunately, unless there was something else you wish to do.
Nope, that's the lot, unfortunately.
Okay, so that is the end of the first round. So, Laura, we will count this as you cast the spell on the surprise round. This will be going into the third round of your spell. Okay? So, going into...
Sorry, is there anything now? Is there anything still left in
It's
the area
not your
of
turn.
effect that I cast the spell in? Oh, sorry.
Esther first, yeah.
Rewind.
Okay, so at the top of the round, Esther will attempt to basically give you aid, Laura. She can see that you're now under pressure. Two of these creatures have come shambling towards you. One's tried to smack you, although it's failed ultimately. So Esther will come round into a flanking position on the one zombie, and she will roll to hit with her sword. Nat 1. Esther also fails to hit the zombie. She takes a big swing at it, and probably underestimating the length of this tumpy, very much sea kind of grass, this very coarse, very long grass. Her sword just tangles in some of it, and she finds herself almost losing her grip on her sword as it's abruptly stopped in its swing. And she will spend the rest of her turn freeing her sword, and she will end her turn basically almost opposite you, Alora, with a zombie in front of her. So, next up is Alora. There is one zombie left within the area of your spell.
Oh, excellent. Right, well, we'll start with him. So he takes 3d8 damage for still being where he is.
Go for it.
So that is 8. Bear with me. That's 8. That's exactly the same, I think, as I threw last time. 14, 15. Oh no, 16 points of damage this time.
With this creature being the only remaining thing in the area, you have how many cubic foot of piranhas? A lot of cubic foot of piranhas.
Yeah, it's a complete cylinder full of them.
Probably somewhere in the region of 1,600 cubic foot of piranhas. No, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, you've got a lot of piranhas. There is one creature left in this area, and they all simultaneously swarm around it. And by the time your massive spectral piranhas begins to kind of subside, there is nothing left of this creature. They have ripped it to shreds. It is gone. There is nothing left. And yeah, that's the end of that zombie. It's met an unfortunate end for the second time over.
Oh, they really got their teeth into him.
Nice.
The next thing she is going to do is, how close is the nearest zombie?
It's in your grill.
to
It's
her?
5 foot away. It's next to you.
Oh. In that case, she is going to. It's 5 foot away.
Yeah, so it's where your vortex is, your vortex of teeth, and you're kind of facing towards it. It is literally to your right, and it's Esther stood kind of next to it as well. So you will get a benefit of flanking if you choose to punch it.
No, she's going to reach out and cast Shocking Grasp on it.
Saucy, go for it.
So she's going to touch the creature and sort of say, "No, you don't." She's going to touch the creature, kind of grabbing it round the throat. I think she would go for, and she needs to roll to hit on that one. So that is a. Let's have a look. Oh dear, that's a 5 plus 9, which is a 14.
Hits. It's got a really low AC.
God, that's
lucky.
lucky.
It hits. So you put your hand on its throat, and as you squeeze, it's got like a kind of a gap where its larynx, where it's kind of like opened up and the skin split as it's decayed. And as you put your hand around it, a couple of maggots fall over your hands, writhing. As you cast this spell, Shocking Grasp. So roll me the damage on that.
Okay, so that's 5d6. And that's a 6, and a 6, which is 12, and a 5, which is 17, and a 3, which is 20, and a 1. That's 21 points of damage.
Yeah, you've pretty much gone for overkill because it only had 5 hit points left. So yeah, you grab it. You grab it over the throat. You feel the maggots spilling over your hand, bouncing over your knuckles as you cast this spell, and the electricity courses through your body into this creature's. It begins jerking and smoking, and as you release it, its once lifeless body falls to the ground, now lifeless again, smoking and almost fizzing as the smell of rotting meat just emanates from it, and it just smells like cooked rotted meat. It's really disgusting. And yeah, you've killed it.
Grim.
Is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
Go for that. No, the other one's taken damage. She said something. Is there anything else near me?
5, 10. There is one zombie 15 foot away from you, and Esther.
I'd like to. Is there anything
No,
behind
there's nothing
me?
behind you.
Right, can I take... I haven't moved, so can I move 10 foot back? And in the process of that, she's just going to be shaking the rest of these maggots off her hand, going, ugh, ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
Really disgusted. She is
they are
absolutely
fat
disgusted.
maggots as well. They are fat and wriggling.
Ugh.
Okay. So that's the end of your turn. Rick, you are up.
Unfortunately, after having delayed, the zombies will go first.
You are quite correct. Okay. So these creatures will go next. So we'll deal with the one left by Esther. That one will come straight up to Esther and attempt to hit her with a slam attack. With a 9 + 2, it's going to miss. And the one in front of you, Rick, will attempt to do the same. Rolling an 8 + 2, that is also going to miss.
Yep.
And then we've got one lonely one left. He will also come up to join his mate who's on you.
Yep.
And roll for a slam attack. And 12 + 2 for 14. Don't think that hits.
Ooh. Yeah, be a bit low still, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So none of them hit you. They are quite clumsy in their movement. They're very much uncoordinated. It's a stumbling kind of haymaker, and they just bounce off your skin. You've got this thick troll hide, and yeah, there's no damage whatsoever. So Rick, it is now your turn.
So Otto is just gonna go full beast mode on these things.
Nice.
He'll start on the first one. Because of these Gyron's claws, he now has 4 claw attacks and a bite attack to follow up on a full attack as well. So we'll start with the first of the claws and see what we get.
Okay.
So that is a 3 + 14 for 17.
Will hit, yep.
That is going to do just 9 points of damage for the first one.
9 points of damage for the first one. Okay, that is cool.
Second
Next.
one is a nat 1.
Oof.
That's okay. I'd rather get them out of the way now. The third one is a little higher. It is a total of 20, so 6 + 14. And
Will
that
hit,
is
yep.
a whole 8 points of damage.
Are you going for the same one or the other one?
Same one.
Same one. Okay,
Yeah.
that is cool. Okay, yep. And your fourth attack, fourth claw.
Is going to be... These are all low rolls. 8 + 14 is 22 still though. And that would give
22.
us 11 points of damage.
Okay, and that is on the same one again.
Yep.
Okay, that one goes down. You've been clawing at it. You're getting used to the range of these big, long troll arms. So the first claw you get, you've taken the claw which is caught in the ground. You whack at it. The second claw is your left hand. You haven't whacked that one into the ground yet. You go to whack it and you catch that in the ground. Third one again, right claw, smack it. Left one, smack it. Yeah, you've got used to the length of your troll arms now. And with these claws going into it, you have essentially rent it apart. You've torn it to shreds. You see viscera and entrails pouring out onto the floor as this creature just shambles to a stop and falls over, and it is dead.
I think Otto is going to be quite satisfied seeing what he's done to this thing, but he's not going to carry on with the bite attack because he thinks he might not taste very nice and doesn't want to find out.
That is a fair enough assessment. Okay, cool. So that is the end of your turn. Yep, no other actions?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay, cool. So that leaves top of the round is Esther. Esther will attempt to do she will attempt a full attack at this time, so she's going to go with the 2 strokes of the sword. So the first one is a 7 plus 12 for 19, which will hit. The second attack is an 8 plus 12 for a 20. An 8 plus 7, which is a 15, which will still hit. So she's going to roll the damage on those for 2d8 plus 8 total. And that is a 6 plus 8 for a maths 14 points of damage. Okay, so she deals 14 points of damage to that other zombie, which, with 2 strokes of her sword, she cleanly quarters it. 1 across, 1 down. The zombie is now quartered and lies on the floor, motionless.
Nice, Esther.
What we will have now is I want everyone to make me a listen check, please.
Oh, God. A listen check. Oh no. That's an 11 plus 6 for 17 for Laura.
Okay.
Otto has 7 on the die, plus 18 for 25.
25, yeah, okay, those rolls are really, really good. Let me just find the page I need. Let's
I
just
don't
pop
want
that
to.
over there.
I'm scared.
With that, Esther fells this zombie, quarters it, and you hear the wet, schlick sound as it, this cut is so incredibly clean that it's almost that beautiful cinematic moment where the zombie looks perfect. As perfect as a zombie can look. It looks intact.
Oh, it's the Kingsman
And
effect.
exactly, as these 2 strokes go through, there is a moment where it looks like nothing's happened. And then slowly you see the 4 quarters of this zombie begin to slide apart as it tumbles to the ground, clearly quartered. And as this happens, you look over at Esther and she's triumphant. She's got this bloodthirsty smile on her face, which you only ever see when she's in battle. And she is looking good. She's happy.
Alora's going to shout, "I thought we left those vorpal knives behind!"
Very funny. And as this happens, you suddenly become aware of a noise. The noise of... It's really difficult to say. It's a chattering sound. And it emanates from this tomb in front of you. As out of the darkness of the tomb, into the light, you see a large creature emerge. It's built like a giant dog. Its gait is very strange and stilted. And as you look closer, you can see that its entire frame, its body, its gaping maw, which drips of viscous red fluid, is built entirely out of human bones.
Oh.
Its legs, its front legs, made of bound together, lashed together thigh bones, femurs. Its main body, a strange creation. Its skulls, which have been lashed together to form this shape. Its entire form is like a metal sculpture. Like when you get a chicken neck sculpture, it's like it's been stretched across a frame. But the frame is made of bones, and it's just this amalgamation. You can see a hand, almost perfect hand skeletal, sticking up out of its neck. it is horrifying. Its teeth are sharp and pointed, and as you look at it, you realise those aren't teeth, but rib cages. The sharp curvature of a human rib cage, which has clearly been pulled apart, disassembled, and reassembled to form this maw full of dagger-like bone. As it emerges into the sunlight, you can see a faint hissing, or you hear a faint hissing sound as a mist begins to rise off of it. And it shies away a little from the sunlight, but continues forward nonetheless, large and looming, towering well over double your height, Laura. It's taller than Otto is in his troll form, as it stalks into the battlefield.
As Alora looks at this thing and takes on how it is built, what its structure is made from, can she draw a comparison between the way that this is constructed and the way that the unholy saint in the bottom of Dranau Church was also constructed
Good
of
question.
bones?
So thinking back on it, the unholy saint was not constructed out of bone, but out of stitched together corpses. So it was flesh and muscle. It was amalgamated, and you couldn't see any stitch marks. It wasn't like it had been built. It was like melded. Exactly. It was like multiple bodies had melded together, flesh melting into flesh to build its form. But this, it is humongous. It stands 20 foot at the shoulder, and as you look at it, it's clearly been created, and you would say hundreds of bodies, perhaps a whole town full of bodies, have gone into creating this being. And it is literally, as you look closer and you inspect it, you can see, for example, the breadth of its chest is several skulls across, and these skulls look like they've been drilled through, they've been stapled with metal, they've been fused using some sort of process, or even tied together. Its entire form is purely comprised of human bone, no flesh, and you can see through as well, where it's got its rib cage would be. You can see it's made of what looks to be twisted and bent femurs and other long bones, and you can see through. There is nothing inside it.
It's an undead cut and shut. Lovely.
Excellent. Its tail hanging out the back is clearly made of a human spine. It is purely made of bone.
Okay.
And it seems like you look at it, it's got these kind of ridges on the back, which you look and you think, oh, they're ridges, what are those made of? And they're shoulder blades sticking vertically up into the...
This is what happens when you let a dog play fetch too long.
Okay, and we will end it on that note.
So I have a minor problem.
Alright.
Yep.
We haven't actually regained hit points on Otto yet, so I'm on technically 4 hit points at the moment. Well, slightly more because of the wild shapes, but yeah, just so you're aware.
Esther has the cleric
That
spell.
might be useful.
I'm not going to be mean, okay? I'm not going to be mean. The psychic damage was just for fun, so you will be on...
I just sort of put it out there just in case.
I'm not going to be mean. I'm not, because if I think, yeah, I've nerfed this a little bit as well.
So
I've actually had to... I've dropped it down. So yeah,
Cool.
I'm not going to be super mean. I'm not going to say that you've only got 4 hit points, because the psychic damage is just a bit of fun. So yeah, you'll be on your full.
No, that's that. I just thought I'd better check it because it might be important soon.
The discovery of some rather dangerous kitchen knives was an eye-opener, and returning to their vessel, their gathering of goods were dropped off. Leaving their captain to his crane building, the unrest of the undead went top of their agenda, and a cemetery clear-out became the priority. Next stop, the gruesome goings-on in the graveyard. As our companions careened into battle, it was time to dig deep. As the sorceress displayed some of her more wicked ways, she served up some fish fit for a feast. Thanks for listening and following. Tune in next week for yet more turmoil in episode 156.